I'm back, and I know what you're thinking. Sid, you just can't stop uploading on Brickwedge. You've been uploading so much on this channel. Head down there and subscribe. So, these are the Speed Champions coming out August 1st. I know I'm very late to this. In fact, I'm so late that they announced and dropped a Speed Champion while I was gone. The new S2000 Fast and Furious. So people know about these, but I've not given my 2 cents on them yet. Originally, it was revealed, the set of cars that it was going to be and the different sets it was going to be. So, first and foremost, we have the Centodieci. I gotta be honest, I think this one's one of the better attempts at the Centodieci. We know that the lights are going to be printed, because they always are. You can see that I'm hoping that bit is printed. Do you know the bit I'm talking about? I'm hoping this, like, these bits are printed. Because if they are, I'd say this is, all in all, a pretty good design. It does the Bugatti rounded vent thing well. It does just the other vents on the front well. It does the side panels well. It's the rear which kind of falls apart, because I feel like they could have tried a bit more with making it brick built. But no, in the end, it did end up just being one big sticker on the back, which isn't great. And this whole under bit is way too big, in my opinion. But I'd say for a Centodieci, there's worse ways they could have designed this. I think that maybe this bit's a smidge too big, but the rest of it's pretty nice. The spoiler looks nice. I think it's very well Speed Championified. I think the only sort of blemish on it would just be generally them doing hypercars, which I don't know if I made a video about that. I should have, but there's a big chance I didn't, because I just forgot to upload on this channel all of a sudden. Hypercars aren't their, like, forte. They aren't the best thing they do. So, for them to do a hypercar, and it to look convincing enough, unlike the Jesco, which I really didn't think worked, I think this one's a pretty good job. Let me know, out of all of these, which you think was the best done, which you think was the worst done, and which ones are you actually going to buy? Because I know I'm probably going to look to get all of these, because they're a lot more unique. See, I didn't end up doing anything with the F1 cars. I'm probably going to go buy the Suzuki S2000, because it's more unique, where the F1 cars are spamming of the same. I know there's variations. I'll get them over a bit of time. But I feel like even if I did buy the F1 cars, I'd have nowhere to put them that I care enough to put them. These cars I can buy to put on my wall, which you guys know about if you've been around for a while. Subscribe. But the Centodieci is the first of the few dropping August, and higher up on my list of what I think about all of these. Next on the list, which is just in order of how I opened these tabs from, shout out to Falcon Bricks. Oh, this one. Okay. This is where we go back to me talking about how they really struggle to do supercars. So, at $50, so I think it's like 42. Am I wrong if I say £45 set, which is outrageous, by the way, that we're paying so much more for having a healthier currency. The Lamborghini Revuelto and the Huracan STO are the next two. I think it's road legal, beefy racing Huracan STO and the Lamborghini Revuelto. You might already expect my opinion on these two. Maybe. The STO is not amazing. It really isn't amazing. But what did they do to the Revuelto? I guess it depends how charitable you want to be, right? So they've got this whole thing going on with these two, like, glass pieces, which I guess are supposed to be the glass bit of the headlights. Then you've got the sticker of the headlights. So they're doing transparent headlights, basically. Something that they did for the Ferrari F40 as well. In fact, let me quickly go get it, because it's right here, thanks to the wall. The Ferrari F40 also had, well, no headlights, but sort of a pretend set of headlights, where the absence of them made these the headlights, even though in reality, these would be covered with glass. It seems like a similar thing is going on here, where they've put the headlights in the back of it, and then just pretending like this whole section is the headlights. In fact, is the black on this supposed to be part of the headlights? I think the front is just messy. It's just really messy. I mean, the STO could be seen as a bit bland with the printed hood and really flat, but I guess that's a Huracan. They picked two really weird cars to try and make Speed Champions. And that's a real shame. Trust me, I'm not being negative about these, because all of these opinions that I'm having right now could absolutely shift when I see them in person. I remember not liking this F40 when we first saw it, and now it's one of my favorite Speed Champions, and I truly call it a modern-day Countach. As in, this is the first, like, you know how the Countach is like, oh, that one Speed Champion that everyone got first? This is that. This should be that, but now is the F40. These could do the same thing when I'm holding them in my hand physically. But I just don't see that happening yet. Also, they are still 8-stud wide, but are they like wider than they should be? I don't. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the wheels stick out just as much as you'd expect them to. I don't know what it is about the Revuelto, but it just looks way wider than it should be. But these two cars I'm gonna get. Oh, mind you, the back of the Revuelto, I think is done really nicely. I think the use of the cannon pieces looks really good. But then you see this angle, and it's just so flat looking compared to the real one as well. I think it's like low cars just don't fare well. Even the STO... the pieces are too rounded. The Huracan's front might be jagged, but it's not rounded. But again, the back of both of these, even though the STO is stickered on the back, pretty solid on both cars. Really solid. In fact, I think the back of the Revuelto hits so hard, but then the front just falls flat, unfortunately, which flat is a good way to describe this car. But let me know if you actually like these two, because if you like them, man. I think if you were okay with this Revuelto, the Revuelto isn't the one that people really focused on. People were a bit more outraged at one of the other cars on this list, so let me know. I like the way they did the mirrors, by the way. Is that a thing? Did they do that for other cars? No, that's got the basic mirrors with the tile, the plate on the side. This has like a... It seems to be a part sticking out, and then the mirrors are... Well, I mean, you can see it, I guess, but they've done the mirrors differently, and that's interesting. They've not done mirrors with these pieces before, as far as I remember. Third on the list, though, is this the controversial one? It is. So, the very, very famous 911 GT3 RS is getting a Speed Champion, and people are divided. The front looks like that. It's sort of just the headlights that people have an issue with. And I think I agree. I think everything there works except the headlights. I saw someone on Reddit edit it so that these headlights were just placed further on the piece, right? Because this angle... It feels like what is this angle for? It feels like the where they're placed is just for like a top-down angle. Maybe a side angle. But does it even work for a side angle? No, I don't think so. I feel like it would have benefited from what that Redditor showed, where it was further ahead. And what sucks is the rest of this is a really good-looking Speed Champion. I think that the spoiler works. For the most part, all of it works. The rims are cool. I think that the splitter works. I think having the studs on the bottom on the splitter doesn't work amazingly. But the GT3 RS sticker works. This bit works. It all works so well. Gosh, do I love what the back of it looks like as well. Just in the case of it matching a GT3 RS, I think the spoiler being as big as it is works for Lego. You know, the spoiler isn't that big relative to the real GT3 RS, but for Lego it works. And then the Porsche print on the side of the plate, on the light, it's sick. Except for... Speed Champions just nail the back of cars. Maybe I just really love the back of Speed Champions. Again, we'll see, though. This is another one that I could hold in my hand and go, actually, they nailed this. But you can even see on the GT3 RS at the back of the box that the headlights just feel way more like they're on the front than printed on the top. Hopefully, I think what will happen here is some YouTuber is going to come in with like a, hey, if you buy this car, you can just put on this, this, and this, and it'll make it look 10 times better. You just get these parts, and these parts. And let's hope we see that. In fact, let's hope, fingers crossed, that a YouTuber makes a rebuild to improve it, where instead of having to buy external parts, you can just improve the look of the headlights using just retooling some parts already on the car. And I'm looking forward to it, and I may even do a video on checking out that YouTuber's design if they do it. I know there's YouTubers out there who do that. I'm very fresh and very small and very inactive for the LEGO Speed Champion space, so we'll see. Finally is probably the one that works the best, but duh, right? Like, I think the Centodieci works best because it's surprising, really surprising how well it works. The Dodge Challenger, yeah, duh. The car that's just a brick anyway works in a brickified medium. I think this shot down here looks sick, by the way. Its tires look a little too wide. And that's worrying. Because 1, 2... Oh, God, how many studs wide is this? 1, 2, 3, 4... Huh? Wait, okay, these would be 3, 1. It is 8 studs wide. But the tires look wider, and that only fears me because of the way I put Speed Champions up on my wall. You'd need a thing that clips onto the back of these. Besides the point, though. I'm so glad they gave Kevin 11 a Speed Champion set to buy. I think this one works so well.